7-0 with an open roof this year. And the first pitch to Podsednik is in for a strike. Scott Podsednik hitting .295 with a homer and 11 runs batted in. Has been swinging the bat well lately as he slaps it foul. In fact, the first two hitters, in fact, Dye as well, have been the best White Sox hitters so far, Eric.
Well, they have started to swing the bat well as of late. Remember, Scott Podsednik wasn't even on this ball club at the beginning of the year. Called Kenny Williams and signed as a free agent.
And very delighted to be back with the White Sox. Played 3 years with them from 05 to 07. And before that, 2 years with the Milwaukee Brewers. And slaps it back on the screen, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes as we take a look at the outstanding weather conditions. And whoever thought we'd have this kind of weather this morning.
No, it's been beautiful out here in Milwaukee. Thought it'd be a little cool, but sunny, great day to play ball.
Here's the 1-2 from the left-hander, and it breaks outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Manny Parra has an ERA of 11.90 in those last 4 starts after a 3-0 prior to that. And the pitch misses outside, and the count runs full to the White Sox left field.
Well, and that's what we were talking about at the beginning. The fastball he's got to be able to locate. Here he's just missing. He runs the count 3-2.
And the payoff pitch is slapped up the middle. And there is J.J. Hardy behind the bag, and unable to make the play in the dirt is Prince Fielder, and safe at first base is Podsednik. And it looked like a play that the Brewers should have made, and they're going to charge Hardy with the error.
See, Hardy probably wants to get a little better angle and not field the ball so deep with a speedy runner like Podsednik, especially getting out from the left side. Prince Fielder tries to make the pick, unable to, but you see where J.J. Hardy fields that ball. He might want to come in a bit more and, like I said, try to cut the angle.
4th error on the season for Hardy, and here is Alexei Ramirez. 8 stolen bases for Podsednik, and the throw over to first. He has stolen 8 bases in 11 tries. And here is Ramirez, who is hitting .397 against left-handers this year, 3rd best in the American League. Fastball, it misses 1-0. So Ramirez, an outstanding young player, hitting .256, and there you see the defense and also get an idea how the shadows already a factor in this game as we get underway. And that pitch is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. White Sox have lost 9 of their last 13. They have Jermaine Dye waiting on deck. And 8 of those 12 losses were at home in the recent homestand.
Yeah, they really had a tough homestand. Lost a few one-run ball games. Lost to the Central leading Tigers. And because of that, all the questions arise. Are these guys buyers or sellers come July?
And the fastball is in for the strike 2-1. And Ozzie Guillen, of course, wants them to stay, of course, buyers as long as he can do it. And he's pleased with the middle part of his order. He said, you know, at the back end of the order, it's got to be a little smarter at the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Ramirez with Podsednik, who reached on an error with the lead, and it's fouled off. White Sox really have one hand tied behind their back because you have Carlos Quentin, who has been out, and then you look at Jim Thome. And when you're playing in the National League parks, he can't play unless he comes in as a pinch hitter. And then you've got the fact that Konerko has been out. So that has limited the White Sox hitting ability. Again over to first.
Well, there's no question this White Sox ball club is built on offense, built on the long ball. And as you mentioned, a couple of guys hurt. We're playing interleague ball. They lose the DH. A.J. Brzezinski, who's been on fire as of late, the catcher, getting the day off.
Here is the 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled back. Carlos Quentin, who is out of action with a plantar fasciitis injury. There you see what they're missing. Of course, last year hit 36 home runs. and then missed 28 toward the end of the year.
Well, he was having an MVP type season and then frustrated, hit the bat with his hand after a strikeout, ended up breaking a bone and out for the rest of the year.
These teams used to be intense rivals when they both played in the American League. Only 100 miles north of Chicago. A lot of White Sox fans are here. Here's a chopper. Could be a double play. The throw to first in time for the double play. So Ramirez bounces in to a 6-4-3 double play, and there are 2 down. Well, the White Sox and Brewers, big-time rivals, and there you see how it broke down. And right now, you'd have to say that the Cubs and the Brewers are the big rivals in the I-94 intensity. 2 down, and Jermaine Dye, the batter. And Dye having a good year with 15 homers and 39 runs batted in, leading the White Sox in home runs, and the count 1-0 to him. 2 down, nobody on base, top of the first inning, and it's fouled upstairs out of play.
Well, and Jermaine Dye could be one of those pieces that if Kenny Williams and Ozzie Guillen decide that this isn't the season for them and they start looking to sell off some of their players, Jermaine Dye, a very attractive right fielder.
Foul ball. 35 years old is Jermaine Dye, but there are some clubs that need a bat, and a reliable bat. Kind of really an underrated star over these years.
Well, you hit it right on the head. Probably one of the most underrated players over the last 10-15 years. Good bat and great defense.
Here's the 1-2 from Parra, and it's down low, 2-2.
Just it never got the superstar accolades, but he is just one consistent ball player. And remember, what he did in the postseason for the White Sox as he led them to the World Series. But just a very consistent player.
Quiet guy, never blew his own horn. Fouls this out of play. Just went about his business. And I'm sure that the Atlanta Braves are sorry they let him get away, because they didn't let too many good ones escape Atlanta.
Well, and he's the type of guy that if you see him day in and day out or play alongside of him, you had a greater appreciation. I played with him in Oakland. Like I said, a much better player than I ever thought.
2-2 pitch, grounded in the hole, backhanded by Hardy, sets, throws, and makes the play. So Hardy commits an error, makes a good play there, and the White Sox are out in the first inning. Brewers coming up in the first, no score. Here is today's starting lineup for the Brewers, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Frank Counsell leading off. J.J. Hardy hitting second. Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, the big 3-4 hitters. Veteran Mike Cameron will be in center hitting fifth. Matt Gamble, the rookie third baseman, followed by Corey Hart. Jason Kendall behind the plate. And, of course, we've seen Manny Parra already. And the Brewers will be facing 37-year-old Jose Contreras. And Contreras, who was sent down to AAA Charlotte, sent down for nearly a month, came back and won his first game of the year, beating Detroit on Monday. He comes in 1-5 on the year. And pitched to Counsell is in for a strike. So 1-5 on the year. Pitched only 37 2/3 innings. And we'll be taking a look at the Sprint pitcher profile for the veteran from Havana, Cuba, in a second. The 1-1 to Counsell. Breaking ball missing, 2-1.
Movement on the fastball. He's got to keep it in and out. Stick a fork in him. That has a number of connotations. Stick a fork in him. He's got a great forkball. Stick a fork in him. If he doesn't pitch well, stick a fork in the White Sox. They'll be sellers.
Broken back ground ball, fair, fielded by Konerko, who makes the play unassisted to retire Counsell with the first out, and that bat went flying. Taking a look now at the White Sox in the field. Podsednik, Anderson, and Dye in the outfield. Beckham at third, Ramirez at short, Nix at second, and Konerko at first. Ramon Castro behind the plate, and Jose Contreras, who moved into Bartolo Colon's spot in the rotation when Colon got hurt, facing shortstop J.J. Hardy, who looks at strike one.
Well, again, Contreras very key to this ball club. You see J.J. Hardy. No, he hasn't been able to get things going as of yet this year.
Dropping down was Contreras, and the count 1-1.
But getting back to Contreras, why he can be so pivotal is he is another guy in that rotation that this White Sox ball club can count on. Sure, they've got the hitting, but at the end of the day, it's pitching and defense that will get you to the postseason.
Again, the sidearm delivery, and the count 1-2 strikes to J.J. Hardy. So Contreras making his start, worked 8 innings, did not allow a run. It was his longest start since May 25th of last year, Monday, when he beat Detroit. And the pitch swung on and missed, ball getting away, and Castro throwing to Konerko for the out. 2 down in the first.
I mean, Contreras is just messing around out there. Here he comes back with that forkball that we talked about. This thing's in the dirt. But it's almost like you're playing wiffle ball with your kid brother in the back. Throw a few sidearm, throw something overhand. He's doing it at the big league level.
2 down to Ryan Braun, hitting .320 with 13 homers. He has driven in 42 and comes in second to Raul Ibanez of the Phillies for the outfield all-star votes as he fouls off the sidearm delivery for strike one. So Braun having a good year. And Prince Fielder on deck if Braun can get on. There's Fielder, who wields the big bat. Here's the 0-1 from Contreras, in for strike two.
Well, and you see the sidearm delivery, and then what that also does, it allows for a lot more movement on the pitch. It's not just the backspin rotation. You get more sink on it, more dive on the ball.
One ball and 2 strikes to Ryan Braun, who has 3 homers and 8 runs batted in his last 5 games. He had 2 hits last night. Brewers winning the first of this series 7-2 after trailing the White Sox 2-0. 1-2 pitch and a good at bat for Ryan Braun here.
Well, just good that he's able to battle pitches against Contreras. I mean, Contreras is just throwing all kinds of angles. I mean, if he's throwing a fastball, a slider, and a forkball, you say, oh, that's 3 pitches. Well, no, it's 6 pitches because he's throwing all those pitches from overhand spot and the sidearm spot.
2 balls and 2 strikes on that fastball up and into Braun. Brewers winning last night ended a 4-game losing streak for them. This has been an up and down team. They were 4-9 to start the year, and then from mid-April to mid-May won 21 of 26. That was their highlight, and then have dropped 13 of 24, and hope that last night's victory will start them on the right track. 2-2 to Braun, and this is the breakdown of the Brewers season. And you remember the Milwaukee Brewers coming off a big year, lost to the Phillies in the division series last year. And Contreras finally gets Braun's second strikeout. 1-2-3 inning for Milwaukee. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By Sprint, get more done with Nextel Direct Connect, only on the Now Network. And by Craftsman, trust in your hands. To the top of the second we go, and the middle third of the White Sox batting order. Paul Konerko leading off against Manny Parra, and his first pitch is lined to left for a base hit. Braun coming over to make the play, and Konerko, who, as we mentioned, missed 2 games with a jammed right thumb, back in action and on base.
Paul Konerko not wasting any time, gets that fastball out over the plate. She gets good extension, rotation, and gets down to first base without aggravating that right thumb.
Brings up a new face for the White Sox, catcher Ramon Castro, and he lines it to center field for a base hit. So Parra giving up back-to-back solid singles to Konerko and Castro, and runners now at first and second, nobody out for the White Sox.
Well, it's been 2 pitches, both fastballs. And White Sox hitters jumping on those fastballs so as not to allow Parra to get to the curveball, the forkball, or the changeup. And
here is Jason Nix, the rookie second baseman. This is his 64th at-bat and his 19th start for Chicago, has 4 homers and 6 runs batted in. So he's amongst the rookie leaders in home runs. And Gamble at third and Fielder at first playing in. And we'll see how Ozzie Guillen plays it with Brian Anderson on deck for the White Sox. Possibly looking for the sacrifice here.
I think with the way this offense has been going as of late, you have to sacrifice here.
First pitch from Parra, And he gave no indication of that as he takes a strike. They had a meeting, of course, before the game because of the fact that Thome, who this is the 25th game in interleague play, has not been in the lineup in 29. And there is Jim Thome, who's now with 553 career home runs. So you got to play small ball sometime. That's what the White Sox are looking for. But swinging away is Nix and hits it deep to right center field. And it's going to be over the fence on a hop. A run will score. Konerko will come in. And they're going to send Castro back to third on the ground rule double by Jason Nix as the ball bounced over the fence. Boy, he gave this a ride.
Well, these White Sox hitters are killing the fastball right now. When I talk about Manny Parra not being able to locate his fastball, that doesn't mean that he's going to throw balls all the time. What that means is he doesn't hit his spots. He leaves balls out over the middle of the plate. He leaves them in the hitter's hitting zone. That's what he's done this inning.
7th RBI for Nix, and here is Brian Anderson. Runners at second and third, still nobody out. A run in for the White Sox here in the second. And the pitch is inside for a ball. Bounced foul and off the hands of Jeff Cox, the third base umpire for the White Sox. 1-1. Andy Fletcher calling balls and strikes today, with Angel Hernandez at first, Scott Barry at second, and the crew chief Tim McClellan manning third. Parra facing Anderson, and the 1-1 pitch high and tight, 2-1. White Sox with a run in.
And if you're Brian Anderson right now, what you're trying to do is hit the ball to the right side. You will get an RBI. Then you also move the runner to third base with only one out.
Anderson has really been struggling at the plate as he takes high and away 3-1. He has 4 hits in his last 34 at-bats. And hitting 130 in his last 15 games. So Anderson looking to get on track, but the count is in his favor, 3-1. And Parra 1 pitch away from loading the bases. Ball 4, not even close. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Ken Maka looks at Bill Castro and says, you better get out there and talk to the young lefty.
Well, it's a situation where there's not really a lot you can say. When a pitcher doesn't have command of his most basic pitch, which is the fastball, there's really nowhere for him to go. You go out there, you say, look, calm down, take a breather, hope that he can regroup and mentally focus. But again, when you can't just get the fastball over, you got some issues.
So Parra, who has never faced the White Sox, and amongst 5 pitchers in the league who have lost 7 games so far, 10-8 and 30 starts in his first full season last year. So there is Castro at third, Nix at second, Anderson at first, and Gordon Beckham, the rookie, who had his first major league hit on Tuesday against Dontrell Willis. Big opportunity for him, and the breaking pitch missing, 1-0 the count to Beckham. He's got some speed, and he's a solid defensive player. And Josh Fields had been the third baseman, and he's seen some action at first since Beckham's arrival. Not even close there, 2-0, and right now Parra can't find the plate.
Well, and this isn't a situation, too, as a hitter right now with the bases loaded, the pitcher can't find his location. You're looking for just one pitch in one spot, and if it's not there, just spit on it.
Should get a good one here. Bases loaded 2-0, and he got a good pitch to hit, and drifting out of play and well into the stands as fielder and Counsell gave chase.
That's a situation as a young hitter. Sometimes you've got that 2-0 count. You get a fastball right down the middle. You're so excited you try to do too much with it instead of taking that nice easy swing. End up fouling it off and missing a pitch that you can drive.
He's been laboring thus far. Has Manny Parra, bases loaded, nobody out. 2-1 to Gordon Beckham. And swings and misses. And a good heater right there. Two balls and two strikes to Beckham. Hitting eighth in the order, lays off the pitch outside. And a full count. Contreras, the pitcher, on deck for the White Sox. But no place to put Gordon Beckham. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, a run already in for Chicago. And jammed, but hit into center field. It'll be a base hit. Castro will come around and score. Nix as well. And going to second base, a high throw there. And Beckham is in at second as Anderson goes to third. And the White Sox now lead it 3-0.
Well, Beckham does the job. He does not get good wood on that pitch. Gets him on the inner half of the bat, but it's strong enough to get it out to center field. Mike Cameron come running in. And Beckham does a nice job of rounding first and going to second. You see Cameron coming in, going to fake the throw. Oh, then too late, regroups, throws it over Council's head at second base.
It was a good pitch by Parra. And there is Contreras, who pops up. And shortstop J.J. Hardy, right at the shadows in the sunlight, makes the catch for out number 1. So they're 1 away. Runners at second and third, and Podsednik, who led off the game by reaching on an error last inning, coming up for the second time. So 2 runs batted in by Beckham, and his first 2 major league RBIs for Gordon Beckham out of the University of Georgia. And the breaking ball missing, 1-0. White Sox coming in 28-34. They're in third in the AL Central, 6.5 behind first place Detroit. Good fastball that time. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And if you're the White Sox, you got 3 in, but you don't want to stop here. You want to get the big inning early on. Foul back, 1-2.
Well, when you have opportunities, you obviously have to take advantage. And remember, last night, the White Sox held a 2-0 advantage, end up losing the game 7-2. I will say this, though, the way Contreras looked, and albeit it was only the first inning, the Brewers might have a tough time just scratching out 1 run today.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Scott Podsednik as Manny Parra, 6'3", 220-pound, 26-year-old, was born in Sacramento, California, and lives in Roseville. He has already thrown 38 pitches, and he's got 1 out in the second inning. Slow curve, fouled out of play.
Well, the thing with Manny Parra is he's got great ability. Physically, it's all there. The arm, the ability to throw off speed pitches. But the mental component is not there. First of all, how to approach hitters. Second of all, the confidence level. If you don't have those things, it doesn't matter what type of physical ability you have, you won't succeed.
Again, the 2-2 pitch, and the count is full. 3-2 with Alexei Ramirez on deck for Chicago. Parra making his 13th start of the year, and the Brewers, along with the San Francisco Giants, are the only teams in the Major League who have used just 5 starters throughout this season. That's rare. Payoff pitch, curveball, hit to fielder, and he looks at home, can make a play, steps on first for the out, and Podsednik gets an RBI as coming around is Anderson, and Beckham goes to third, and it's now 4-0 White Sox. RBI for Podsednik, his 12th of the year. So there are 2 down, and here's Ramirez, who bounced into a double play. 2 down, and Beckham, the runner, at third. In tight, watch out. And it's 1-0.
Well, Parra just sending a message there. We talked about the beginning of this inning, the first 2 pitches, 2 base hits for the White Sox hitters. Been very comfortable up there and attacking the fastball.
Here's Parra's 1-0 pitch. Took something off it, up and away, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Jermaine Dye is on deck. And it's been a rocky second inning for Manny Parra. There's the runner at third, Gordon Beckham, who has knocked in 2 runs. Jason Nix knocked in 1. So the rookies have knocked in 3 of the 4 runs that the White Sox have scored. Podsednik getting the other. And the count 2-1.
Well, we talked about the White Sox offense, and here 4 runs have scored. You know, only the big guy in there is Paul Konerko. You know, Jermaine Dye not up yet this inning. Jim Tomei on the bench. A.J. Przinsky getting the day off.
2-1 the count to Ramirez, and now the count goes to 3-1. Well, the White Sox have had their problems coming in. There you see 8th in home runs and down the line in the league in several other categories. Here's the 3-1 pitch, ball 4, and Ramirez walks. That's the second base on balls this inning issued by Manny Parra, and the 9th hitter of the inning coming up, Jermaine Dye, with 2 down runners at the corners.
Well, this is one of those situations. It's really a test for Manny Parra to find out what is he made of. Now, obviously, he doesn't have his great stuff, but where's the intestinal fortitude? Where is that? Give me the ball. Let's go. We're going to work here. That's what the Brewers want to see.
And also to stop the onslaught. 3 runs, and then another run came in. And I would think a very critical batter right here, Eric, though it only be the second inning, because you're looking at a 6-0 game, a lot different than trying to come back. And obvious, it may seem obvious, but 4 runs is workable. And Dye fouls it off. Dye bounced out his first time.
Well, you know, it's a good point you made, and I think, though, it's more than just this game right now. This is something that can define Manny Parra. Gets into trouble, get out of it. I mean, what do the Brewers have to look forward to for the next few months? Is he somebody that they're going to be able to count on, or do they have to go elsewhere?
30th pitch of the second inning, and it is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jermaine Dye. Brian Anderson is at third base. Beckham at second, and Ramirez at first. First and third, and the pitch is inside. Runners are at the corners with the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. As Konerko, Castro, Nix, and Anderson have all come across. Long look at Ramirez at first, who has 9 stolen bases to lead the White Sox. Good fastball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was 93 miles an hour on the gun.
And that's why Manny Parra continues to get opportunities as a starter. 93 mile an hour fastball, good changeup, good curveball.
Saw
good forkball.
Chris Smith warming up for the Brewers in their bullpen. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and the count runs full. So once again, a full count. And with 2 out and 3 and 2, Ramirez will be off from first. Beckham leaning from third. There goes the runner. Ball 4. Third walk And once again, the White Sox have loaded the bases. And Paul Konerko coming up. 3 walks and 4 hits, including a pair of doubles here in the second inning. And J.J. Hardy coming in to try to settle down Manny Parra. Bill Castro has already gone to the mound. And Konerko, the 10th man to come up, led off the second inning with a single to left, a sharp base hit, then came around and scored. So a bigger inning could get much bigger here for the White Sox. And Parra steps off.
Well, you already had J.J. Hardy go to the mound. Now you've got Jason Kendall. He goes to the mound. You know, right now, they're just grasping. What can Manny Parra, what can we do to get him on track?
Smith has been warming up, and Castro indicating to Ken Maka that he'd be ready if he needs him.
I think you've got to let him get out there. He's the one that got you in this mess. He's the one that's going to have to get you out.
And if he does, start fresh in the third. So here is Paul Konerko with the bases loaded and 2 down. 4 runs in for the White Sox, and a breaking pitch on the outside corner, backdoor variety, and it's strike 1. That's what Manny Parra has chalked up thus far. One and one. Konerko, who started it with a single earlier here in the second inning, coming up for the second time. 4 runs on 4 hits for the White Sox. And a line drive to left field. It's going to be a base hit. Bouncing in front of Braun. 2 more runs cross the plate, and it's now 6-0 in favor of Chicago. Konerko with his second hit this inning. Now with his 40th and 41st run batted in, Ken Maka has seen enough. And we'll be back to Milwaukee after these messages. with an early exit. And right now, time now for the Zantac relief pitcher profile. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. And right-hander Chris Smith is aboard.
Well, Chris Smith comes in and all he needs to do is eat innings up. I mean, obviously when you go to the bullpen, you're not even out of the second inning. You start concerning yourself for tomorrow and the day after that. He's got to save the bullpen, eat some innings.
And Ramon Castro with runners at first and second. And 2 down, 6 runs in the first pitch outside for a ball. Parra working an inning and 2/3.
Yeah, and you see just looking rather stoic. And I'm sure some people want to see a lot more emotion, but the reality is he feels beat.
Castro single to center field. So the inning started against Parra with 2 singles and a double, a walk, another double driving in 2 runs. And a strike. Two balls and 1 strike to Castro with 2 out. Acquired from the Mets last week. Jermaine Dye and Konerko, the base runners. And it's popped up to the right side of the infield. And Prince Fielder in foul territory makes the catch to retire the side. 6 runs for the White Sox. Prince Fielder, however, will lead off for the Brewers as they try to come back. By Sears is sponsored by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And so the Brewers trying to begin the long climb uphill, Mr. Carroll's down 6-0. And the count 1 ball and no strikes to Prince Fielder. And what a year he is having. And 3rd in walks in the league. A lot more selective at the plate for a slugger. It says a lot about him.
Well, he's been patient, getting on base at a better clip. I spoke to hitting coach Dale Swain, and he was saying that he just felt that Fielder as a hitter is maturing. It just comes with more experience. And that's enabled him to start off so well this year. Two balls and 1 strike.
Fielder, the only player to start every game for the Brewers. 2-1 pitch hit in the air to center field. Brian Anderson started back, comes on in and makes the play for out number 1. 1 down here in the second inning. And Mike Cameron coming to the plate. So here's Cameron, an outstanding outfielder. 12 home runs, has the most homers of any center fielder in the National League, but is mired in a 3-for-26 slump right now.
Well, he's played some great defense, and he's getting up there in age, but still doesn't seem to have lost a step.
As a center fielder, arguably playing as well as anyone in the league. Dropping down was Contreras, and a fly ball deep to center, but Anderson with room again makes the catch. So Brian Anderson with 2 putouts, 2 down in the second. And the Prostate Cancer Foundation raises funds for prostate cancer research by securing pledges for home runs hit during selected Major League games from now through the 21st of June. Fans can make pledges to the Home Run Challenge by calling 800-757-CURE or by logging on to pcf-dot-org. All home runs hit in today's game worth $14,000. So please see your way and help contribute as Matt Gamble takes a fastball for a strike. Gamble making his 15th start. And Ken Maka saying he's going to be my third baseman against right-handed pitching. And hit a home run in his first Major League start against the Cardinals on May the 18th. 1-1 the count. Two and 1. Matt Gamble called up from Nashville, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike. And now the count full at 3-2.
As you mentioned, Nick, Matt Gamble getting an opportunity to play at the big league level, platooning with Bill Hall, but very athletic, excellent power.
And called strike 3, and Gamble goes down on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout for Contreras. Another 1-2-3 inning. After 2, it's 6-0. Saturday Baseball presented by Sears. Let the Sears Blue Crew find the top appliance brand most perfect for you. And the White Sox here in the third inning leading 6-0. And Jason Nix takes a strike. Nix doubled home a run. And it was first and second, nobody out. And you're wondering whether Guillen might have had the sacrifice on. He had Nix swinging away, and it paid off with a double deep to right center field. Takes the ball 1-1.
Well, he knew something more than I did, because I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to bunt, move guys over. You've got Contreras pitching, and he looks like he's got great stuff today. And maybe just a couple runs would be the difference. But he made the right move and let Nix hit.
Took something off that breaking ball, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. It'll be Jason Nix, Brian Anderson, and Gordon Beckham here in the third inning for the White Sox. White Sox now have 6 runs on 6 hits. They've changed the scoring. Podsednik, who reached on an error, now they rule it was an infield hit. And hit into the air, deep right center field. Coming over is the center fielder Cameron to make the catch for out number 1. And time now for a direct TV game break. And Omar Santos with a 2-run homer off of Andy Pettit to give the Mets a 2-0 lead. But in the bottom of the second inning, and then Alex Rodriguez with a solo home run off Fernando Nieves, the 9th homer of the year for A-Rod, and it's 2-1. Could you believe last night's finish with Castillo dropping the pop-up and the Yankees winning the game?
And that's a guy that, one of the better fielding second basemen a few years ago, and just a routine pop-up. And then what was worse is he threw the ball to second base instead of throwing it home.
The second base was irrelevant. It was Teixeira, and Teixeira kept running it, and people are giving him credit. I think that's the way you play baseball. You run it out, whether it's a fly ball and a pop-up, but we've seen the other side as well. Ball getting away, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brian Anderson, who walked and scored a run last inning.
Well, and that's one thing, we're talking about that Castillo play, but any play in baseball, guys are going to make physical mistakes, but when you err mentally, that's where the frustration comes from a manager, because everybody should be thinking.
Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Chris Smith in relief of Manny Parra facing Anderson. There you see the shadows now enveloping most of the field, now behind third base and curving all the way over to right center field. The 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the White Sox center field.
Well, Brian Anderson, one of those younger players that the White Sox hope starts to get better.
And a called third strike on the inside corner. Smith gets Anderson for the second out. So there are 2 down here in the third inning. Well, what do you do when you have a 6-0 lead and you're on the road? Carlos Quentin not playing, but certainly a factor in the dugout.
Well, he's providing the entertainment. Now, he doesn't know it's up there. Up now, somebody told him, but what's good about it, the rest of the guys are engaging with him, trying to have a conversation. And he has no idea. He thinks, hey, everybody wants to talk to me.
Here's Gordon Beckham, who knocked in a pair of runs with a double to center field. His first time up, off the fist. 1 ball and 1 strikes to Beckham. And Chris Smith, 28-year-old Californian, and a swing and a miss on a good breaking ball. A rookie last year with the Red Sox is Smith. Was 1-0 in 12 appearances. And trying to get Beckham and to make it a 1-2-3 inning. And pitch missing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith called up on June the 4th from the Brewers AAA Farm Club in Nashville. And a 3-2 count to Beckham. Payoff pitch out of play. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brewers and White Sox. Well, the last time that the White Sox played a regular season game in Miller Park was 2001. So it's been a while, and these teams were pretty strong rivals. But make no mistake about it, they need this series in their respective races. Ball 4, and Beckham draws a walk, so he's on for the second time. That's the first walk issued by Smith, who came on to retire the side in the second, and now will face Contreras.
Oh, that was a close pitch. You obviously don't want to walk the number 8 hitter with 2 outs, because then that eliminates the pitcher leading off the following inning. But you know, we've got a 6-0 ball game, so I don't know how worried you are about that.
0-1. Contreras popped up to short in the second inning when 11 men came to the plate for the White Sox, who put 6 on the board. Contreras in his career now 0 for 21 as a hitter, but doesn't mind taking his hacks up there.
No, he's not getting cheated up there. That's for sure. And I wouldn't say I'd want to break down that swing and teach it to any little leaguers, but at least he's up there hacking. Hacking and then whacking.
2 down, and the runner at first. Strikes out to retire the side after 2.5, 6-0. Allstars.com. Vote for your favorite everyday All-Star. Here they are. Chicago, Illinois, Morris, Elmhurst, Illinois. Those are the finalists from Chicago. From Milwaukee, well, we got a guy from Livermore in California, and the rest here. And who could represent your club and be honored at the 2009 All-Star Game in St. Louis, July 14th on Fox? Just everyday people who make a difference. There are a couple right there that make a difference in the community of Milwaukee, as Corey Hart takes ball 1-1 the count to Hart, leading off here in the bottom of the third inning against Jose Contreras, with the White Sox leading 6-0. Ground ball and off the glove of Beckham, and no play. And Corey Hart is safe in what will be ruled as a base hit.
Well, Beckham does a nice job in getting a good jump, just unable to field it cleanly, but possibly preventing a double. Also good about that, he knocks the ball down and doesn't try to make a great play, just get it and throw it. A lot of young players have a tendency to do that. He eats the ball at third base, man on first.
And that's the first hit of the game for the Brewers after Contreras had retired the first 6. So Hart is aboard, and here is Jason Kendall, the veteran catcher, hitting .229, has driven in 17 runs this year. Kendall hitting 8th in the order. Chris Smith, the pitcher, with the bat in the on-deck circle, bluffed a bunt and takes a ball. It's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes to Kendall as the Brewers, still early in the game, looking to fight back. They've got a 6-run mountain. There's a fastball, and it's 2-1 now to the Brewers catcher.
Well, obviously a 6-0 ball game, but this is an important hitter for Contreras because he doesn't want Kendall to get on because the next hitter will bunt. You put runners on second and third, a base hit makes it a 4-run ball game.
And there's a ground ball shot, and Nix gets the force, and that's all. And the second base umpire, Scott Barry, had to do a great deal to get away from that. So they get the force play. Talking to Ozzie Guillen, the White Sox manager, who said he's had some problems with situational hitting from the bottom part of the order. Well, today, a lot of extra base hits they've delivered.
We've struggled for the last couple of weeks. We have a few guys on the lineup, and thank God those guys tip it up today, and we'll score a couple runs.
So you're scoring runs today. Jose Contreras looks like he's got great stuff. Are you guys buyers? Are you sellers? How do you figure out what kind of team are you?
We got to compete. We got to compete. You know, especially the way our division playing right now. Whoever win a couple games in a row, we got to be on it. I think it's going to be like that all year long. But, hopefully when we get back with everybody in the lineup, we get better.
Well, you're on the road right now, and it's too bad you've got to play all these games in National League parks with your big guy on the bench, right?
Well, that's true, but in the meanwhile, we're not playing good back in Chicago. We've been playing good in the road trip. Last road trip we had, was a pretty good road trip for us. Hopefully we continue to do it with a great uniform.
Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, have a good one.
And the double play started by Jose Contreras ends the Brewers in the third. Presented by Spears is sponsored by Subway, home of the famous made-to-order $5 footlong, by Cataway, and by Bank of America Home Loans. Starting now, home has a new address. White Sox leading 6-0. And coming up here in the 4th inning, Scott Podsednik, who has a single and 2 trips. They revised the ruling in the top of the 1st inning when he reached and what was first charged an error to Hardy. But so Podsednik now with an RBI and a hit. Top of the order. And a foul off to the left side, 0-2.
Well, if you notice, one of the things that Smith is doing as compared to Parra, he's working fast and he's throwing strikes. You know, the infielders aren't standing around. He's going right after the hitter, attacking, working ahead in the count. And it changes the whole complexion of the game, the way the pitcher attacks the hitters.
Ahead on the count is Smith, and it's in tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the former Red Sox rookie comes back and just misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith from Hesperia, California, and fouled off out of play. Podsednik will be followed by Ramirez and Dye here in the 4th inning. There is a Ramirez who scored a run. 11 White Sox hitters came to the plate in the 2nd inning as Manny Parra departed after an inning and 2/3, giving up 6 runs on 6 hits, walking 3, and throwing a total of 56 pitches before Ken Maka came and got him.
Well, and you say, you know, he walked 3, so that, you know, obviously that wasn't good, but also his inability to locate pitches, leaving them over the plate, and then the White Sox hitters being able to attack those pitches that were up in the zone.
Change up, and it's popped up to the left side of the infield, and it's Hardy, the shortstop, there to make the catch for out number 1. Time now for a DirecTV game break, and it's the Cubs against the Twins. Milton Bradley with a line drive to center, and Carlos Gomez makes a diving catch. No score, but in the top of the 2nd inning against Rich Harden, Jason Kubel hits his 11th home run of the year to give the Twins a 1-0 lead, and the Twins go on and beat the Cubs 2-0 at Wrigley Field. And let's take a look now at the standings in the NL Central as the Brewers come in with a 1.5 game lead over the Cardinals. The Reds a game behind them, although even in the loss column, and the Cubs now under 500. Cubs and White Sox will do battle at Wrigley Field this week, and the 0-1 pitch to Alexei Ramirez is in for a strike, 0-2.
Well, that Central Division wide open, really, in both the American League and National League, and we saw the Cubs under 500.
And Ramirez swings and misses, strike 3. That's the 3rd strikeout since Chris Smith has come in the game, and there are 2 away.
This just shows you don't have to throw hard to get hitters out. What you have to do is disturb their timing, mess up their rhythm. That's an off-speed pitch, down low, down in the dirt. Ramirez goes after it, unable to get it.
Guillen and Maka, the 2 managers, trying to get the advantage here in the 2nd game of the series. The Brewers winning last night 7-2. Jermaine Dye 0 for 1, walked his last time up and takes down low. 2-0.
Well, 2 different styles of manager as well, but both very successful. Ozzie Guillen, a bit more blunt, more flamboyant, has a World Series title under his belt.
And the pitch is inside.
Ken Maka on the other side, 4 years in Oakland, never won less than 88 ball games. I mean, a very underrated manager, won 2 division titles there with Oakland. A no-nonsense guy. Very good manager. Getting an opportunity here in Milwaukee and has the Brewers in first place.
Won the American League West title in 2003 and in 2006. And Dye draws a walk. 2nd walk issued by Chris Smith. And time now for the Bank of America hometown fan cam Brought to you by Bank of America Home Loans, making a commitment to home and to homeowners. Starting now, home is a new address. And yes, they make the journey north on I-94 from Chicago. And White Sox fans all over town and filling the hotels here in Milwaukee for this 3-game series.
Well, a lot going on in this town this weekend.
Paul Konerko, the batter, looks at a breaking pitch for a strike.
Now, I can't wait. The sausage race right around the corner in a few innings. That's why a lot of people come out here.
It's been a symbol of the home games here in Milwaukee. 2 down and Dye, the base runner, on at first. And the breaking ball up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to Paul Konerko, who has 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and has scored a run. Konerko coming into the game hitting .291. He's now at .298. Breaking pitch fouled away, and it's 1-2.
Well, I think he's the real key to the success or non-success of this White Sox ball club the rest of this year. If he can stay healthy and be productive as he has historically been, they have a shot. But if he continues to have the nagging hand injury, continues to have to address it, it's going to be tough for this White Sox offense.
Runner at first is Dye, and the pitch is taken for the ball. 2-2. But Ozzie Guillen had a good point about the division. Maybe 6.5 out, and that's the farthest the White Sox have been. Matches the longest they have trailed since the season started. But 7.5 games separate all of the clubs. Remember, Kansas City was in first place. The Royals went into last. They're half a game behind Cleveland. The Indians are playing the Cardinals this afternoon. So it's a tight race. Of course, the Twins did win, beating the Cubs. 2-2 breaking ball and a comebacker. And Konerko is retired. And the White Sox lead 1 at the middle of the 4th inning, 6-0 Chicago. All 6 runs in the 2nd inning. Jose Contreras with a huge lead, and facing the top of the order, Craig Counsell takes a strike. Counsell 0 for 1, bounced out. Craig Counsell, 38 years old, his 2nd stint with the Brewers. Count is 1-1 to him.
Well, Counsell, one of those guys that you may not necessarily count as being a starter, but if one of your guys goes down, as was the case here, he can fill in and do an excellent job. Can play a number of positions, knows how to play the game. Guy that you can count in and day out.
And he's been a world champion in 2 teams in 2 different occasions, with the Diamondbacks in '97 and then again with the Florida Marlins 4 years later. So Counsell, as you mentioned, good man to have on your club. 32nd start of the year, and most of them have been at second base, and as you pointed out, can play the other infield, middle infield positions as well. J.J. Hardy on deck and Ryan Braun to follow. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, the White Sox in front 6-0. And strike 3, Counsell goes down, and that's the 4th strikeout for Contreras. Ken Maka, well, Maka has the all-time save leader on his staff, and Trevor Hoffman has not pitched since last Saturday. It's been a drought for him. I know this game doesn't fit for Hoffman, but what about it?
Well, I talked to him this morning. We were in the room working out, and every reliever's a little different. Some guys need to have that work when the game's not on the line. So I asked him about that, and him being here with me the first year. A guy like Troy Percival, Mike Scioscia kind of handled him like he only used him in safe situations. So he said, you know what, maybe tomorrow might be the day that he needs to get in. I was hoping today we'd have a nice lead there in the 9th inning, be able to bring him in. But, we've got a lot of game to play, and maybe today will be the day.
2 division titles in Oakland, never won less than 88 ball games. How does this Brewer team compare to some of those ball clubs you had in Oakland?
Well, a lot of similarities. Guys brought up through the organization with a lot of talent. Hardy, Hart, Ricky Weeks. Those guys, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, those guys, a lot of talent brought up through the organization. The same way in Oakland, with the Chavez and Tejada and Ramon Hernandez and guys like that. So a lot of similarities.
Ken, thanks for being with us.
All right,
under the circumstances.
All right.
Hit into the air to left field. Going back is Podsednik, battling the sun and making the catch near the base of the wall for out number 2. And of course, Eric, you played for Ken Maka.
Yeah, Ken Maka, excellent manager, and as I said, very stoic. Doesn't like to joke around a lot. I shouldn't say doesn't like to joke. Doesn't, joke around a lot. Come to the ballpark, you're ready to play. You know what to expect from him, and as I said, never won less than 88 ball games. I mean, a lot of managers would kill to win 88 one year. Like I said, he wins more than that and ends up leaving Oakland.
And sometimes it's a matter of communication with the people you work with. As the first pitch to Ryan Braun, taken for a strike. Braun struck out his first time up. Four strikeouts for Jose Contreras, who has some breathing room here in the 4th inning, leading by 6. 1-1 to Ryan Braun.
Facing a guy like Contreras, you're Ryan Braun up there right now, and it's real tough, especially when he's got a 6-0 lead. And I say that because he's got a 6-0 lead, so he can just go out there and he can pretend he's playing in his backyard because, if I make a mistake, oh well. So there's no pattern that you can pick from. You can't look at the scouting report and say, well, in 2-0 situation, he throws this pitch or that pitch. He's just out there flipping the ball, having fun. You're up there battling, trying to make contact.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Braun. Since his return from the minor leagues, has in 11 2/3 innings, scoreless ball. Giving up only 1 hit, the leadoff single by Corey Hart last inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch and a fly ball to right field. Jermaine Dye making the catch. 1, 2, 3 innings for the Brewers. They've been retired in order 3 of the 4 innings. Inning here in Milwaukee with the White Sox at bat and leading 6-0. Ramon Castro, who singled and scored a run, 1 for 2 in the game, came up twice in that second inning when 11 men came up, and a call strike to Castro, 11-year veteran acquired in a trade last week from the Mets for right-hander Lance Broadway. Played 6 years with the Marlins, last 5 years with the Mets. And it's a ball 2-1 to him. Castro, the backup to Pierzynski, who knocked in a run last night, and a deep drive to left field, way back and gone. Tell you, Castro made no mistake, and that one was out of here at the crack of the bat. And it's now 7-0 in favor of the White Sox. First home run and the first hit for Castro in a White Sox uniform, this being his 4th game.
Well, absolutely crushed it. What was interesting is watching left fielder Ryan Braun. You see this pitch out over the plate. He gets the extension, and this thing's just out with the crack of the bat. But Ryan Braun, he didn't even see it out in left field. Never even saw it. Just boom, whack, gone. I don't know if we can see it. Well, there, after it's gone by, he noticed it. Ball just flying by him.
Here's the 1-0 to Nix. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike for Castro. Actually, it was his second hit since joining the White Sox, because he did single in the second inning. So Castro now 2 for 3. His first 2 hits, first home run, RBI, you name it. And the White Sox lead 7-0. That pitch in the dirt, 2-1 to Nix, who's 1 for 2 with a double and a run batted in, has also come around to score. So it's been all White Sox here. And it's one of those rare times when the White Sox are rooting for the Cubs to do well and vice versa, as he misses the off-speed breaking pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Because the Cubs are playing American League West opponents and vice versa. That's why White Sox would have loved to have seen the Cubs turn the tables on the Twins today instead of the other way around. And the pitch swung on and missed, strike 3, and Nix goes down. Well, next week it's another exciting week of interleague play. These Brewers take on the Tigers in a showdown of first place teams. The Cardinals battle the Royals. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Sears, returns next week, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. So Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera will be going at it as the Brewers and Tigers go at it in Detroit. And the first pitch is a strike to Brian Anderson. Check swing, and he went around Angel Hernandez, saying Nix offered at it, so the count now 0-2. And call strike 3. So how about Chris Smith, who has struck out 5 since coming in? And here is today's Gillette Power Trivia question. Last year, Brewers' Ryan Braun and Ben Sheets both started for the National League All-Star team. Prior to 2008, when was the last time 2 Brewers started an All-Star game together? Gordon Beckham, the batter, been on base twice with a double, knocking in 2 runs back in the second, and drew a walk in the third. Those are the first 2 RBIs for Beckham since coming up to the White Sox. And it's popped up center field. Cameron makes the catch. Leadoff home run by Ramon Castro adds to the White Sox lead. They're up 7-0. Presented by Sears. Craftsman, trust in your hands. And a fine crowd here in Milwaukee throughout the weekend. As we mentioned, many of them are White Sox fans. Bernie Brewer would like to do some riding up and down that slide as Prince Fielder leads off in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fly to center, his first time up against Jose Contreras. Now staked to a 7-0 lead. First pitch, a fastball for a strike. Fielder in his last 29 games has knocked in 30 runs with 10 home runs. And coming into the game trailing Albert Pujols for the first base All-Star balloting. And Ryan Howard right there as well. Fielder with 55 runs batted in. Coming in tied for second in RBIs, but goes down on strikes. So far, tremendous pitching performance, Eric, by Jose Contreras.
Well, as a hitter right there, I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, this is a pitch right before the fastball. This is an off speed. This is the forkball. You see it just dives down. Now here's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball coming up. That was a forkball right there in the dirt. Then he gets a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Can't even offer at it. You got no chance.
5 strikeouts for Contreras. And here's Mike Cameron, who flied to Anderson at center his first time up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brewers have bullpen activity. Todd Coffey warming up in their bullpen. They were only able to get an inning and 2/3 from their starter Manny Parra today. Breaking pitch in tight, and it's 2-1.
Well, and you see the speed differential. Contreras is throwing balls 73, 74, 75, then coming with the hard stuff at 92, 93. I mean, when ball speed varies like that, it's very difficult to hit.
3 balls and a strike. Contreras has not walked anyone today. And a swing and a miss, and kind of a defensive swing at that. And runs the count full to Cameron, 3-2. Jose Contreras, who is out since last August with an Achilles tendon surgery, returned to the rotation on April the 10th. And a fastball, and he's out of there. So second strikeout here in the 5th inning. That's the 6th of the game for Contreras.
Well, he's been doing it all day long with a variety of off-speed pitches, arm angles, velocity. Been doing it all, and you notice there aren't any good swings, and it's not as if Milwaukee has hit some balls hard. It's just been a lot of strikeouts and a lot of feeble attempts. Fastball in on the hands.
And Gamble lifts it out to left field. Podsednik with speed makes the catch to retire the side. Another 1-2-3 inning for Jose Contreras. 7-0 White Sox. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. By Gillette Fusion, Gillette's closest, most comfortable shave. And by Samsung Mobile. Make yourself organized with the Samsung Jack phone. And a new pitcher for the Brewers who make some changes in the field. That's Todd Coffey. So Todd Coffey is in, and Craig Counsell moves to third base. And Frank Catalanato now is the second baseman. So Matt Gamble will leave the game. So the infield will have Fielder at first, Catalanato at second, Hardy at short, and now Counsell at third. As Contreras 0 for 2 leads off against Todd Coffey, the third pitcher. Last pitch Thursday, an inning in the third against Colorado. Gave up a run on 3 hits. Here's the 0-1. No balls, 2 strikes to Contreras.
Well, and Coffey's been instrumental in the success of this bullpen. Been in 28 games, has a 2.7 ERA. Different, he's one of the harder throwers in that bullpen.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Has 10 holes, which is 8th best in the National League. Spent 4 years with the Reds. And appeared in 81 games 3 years ago with Cincinnati. And the count is 2-2 to Contreras. It'll be Contreras, Podsednik, and Alexei Ramirez for the White Sox here in the 6th inning. And it's chopped to the left side. Counsell, who moved to third, makes the play. And that'll be 1 away here in the 6th inning. Time now to answer our Gillette Power Trivia question. Prior to Braun and Sheets last year, who were the last Brewers to start together in the All-Star game? Got to go back to 1983. One of the top catchers, great hitter Ted Simmons, and the Hall of Famer Robin Yount.
Nick, I remember Ted Simmons as a St. Louis Cardinal catcher. Later, a general manager for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Switch hitter, I believe.
Well, I remember the left-handed side. I remember that.
Here's Scott Podsednik up for the 4th time. 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI. His 12th run batted in of the season. 1 out, nobody on here in the White Sox 6th. They lead it 7-0. 6 runs in the 2nd inning. The difference against the Brewers today. Fastball down the middle, 4-strike, 1-1. Chris Smith worked 3 in the 3rd inning. Gave up a run and a hit, and the only run and hit was Ramon Castro's upper deck home run last inning. He struck out 5 and walked a pair. 2-1 now to Podsednik. Released by the Rockies on April the 1st, as you see the on-deck hitter Ramirez, and signed by the White Sox on April the 14th. Sitting home, and all of a sudden got the call that brought him back to Chicago, and he's loving it. 3-1 the count to him. Best 2 years of his career came with the Brewers. Here's the 3-1 strike, and the count is full as Podsednik was on his way to first. Here's the 3-2 pitch, slapped to the left side, foul. And Podsednik, who has the ability to use the entire field.
Well, interesting in this last at-bat, you watch his feet in this situation, almost runs up, and he does. He moves up because I think he's guessing it's going to be an off-speed pitch. So he's trying to get to it before it breaks. It was a fastball. He just stuck his bat out there.
Here is the 3-2 again, and he waves at it for strike 3. So Coffey has his first strikeout, and there are 2 gone here in the 6th.
Well, this is a fastball up in the zone, but watch the feet again. He's scooting up. It's almost like he's trying to shoot that ball down the third base line. Counsell playing a bit off of the bag. A lot of foot movement, not much contact.
So Podsednik is retired for the 3rd time.
1-2, 1-2, and swing. There you go. It's your dance step for the day.
By the numbers. No, 1 strike to Ramirez with 2 down. Alexei Ramirez, who was 2nd in the American League Rookie of the Year balloting to Evan Longoria of the Rays last year, holds up, and it's 1-1. 0 for 2, reached base on a walk and scored 1 of the 6 runs back in the 2nd inning. Jose Contreras sailing along as he waits for the bottom of the 6th inning. Good fastball, 94 miles an hour that time for Coffey, and it's 1-2.
Well, I think one of the things that's been illustrated by the Brewers today, and one of the main reasons for the success, is their bullpen. It's been dominant all year long. Chris Smith, as you mentioned, come in, done a good job. Coffey throwing well here.
And the bounder to 3rd. Counsell on the run. Nifty play. Gets a couple of chances in the 6th. 1-2-3 inning for Todd Coffey. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Max replay.
22 balls, 39 strikes, and let's watch this ball. This ball is dropping. That's a fork ball. That's what Jose Contreras has been doing all day long. Brewers hitters missing all day long. Can't do anything. That's our Flomax replay of the day.
And that's why they sent him down to AAA for nearly a month to get that splitter back. And facing Corey Hart, who has the only base hit, the only base runner for the Brewers today, takes a strike. In fact, Contreras has faced the minimum number of 15 hitters so far through the first 5 innings. Fouled off 0-2. Hart led off with the hit off of the glove of Beckham in the 3rd inning, and then a double play when Parra tried to bunt, and Contreras started the 1-6-3 double play. Here's the 0-2 pitch. 1-2. So the Brewers have not had a runner as far as second base in this game. Contreras striking out 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 4th. And a good play by Beckham on the hot shot and overthrows Konerko at first. And staying at first as the ball is retrieved by Jason Nix. And Hart is aboard for the second time.
Well, Beckham makes a nice play by picking it. Now he's got all the day to throw the ball. And he just kind of, I'll just float it over there. Releases it high, goes over Konerko's head. This is when you've got to still act like it's going to be a bang-bang play. You get it. You don't have to hurry, but you keep that front shoulder down and boom, make a good hard throw to first base.
So for the second time in the game, the Brewers have a leadoff man on. And here is Jason Kendall. Strike one to Kendall, who was safe on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat. So Hart reaching on an error, leading off the sixth for the Brewers. And a fly ball to Jermaine Dye in right field. Plenty of room. Makes the catch for the first out as Hart comes back to first. And Frank Catalanato hitting in the ninth position, coming to the plate for the first time. He's hitting .222 on the year. This is only the 19th time he's been to the plate for the Brewers. Who have had only 2 base runners. 1 out, 1 on here in the sixth. And a strike to Catalanato. First year in the National League, it played with the Texas Rangers and was released by them in mid-May. 1-1.
Well, Catalanato had a number of good years in Texas, getting an opportunity over here. See Contreras only allowed 1 hit so far today, and remember his last outing on Monday against the Tigers, only 1 hit in 8 innings.
Up high, 2 balls and a strike. Contreras, who lives in Tampa, 37 years old, of course. Pitched in the World Series against the Florida Marlins back in '03 for the Yankees. Big cut and a miss, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But you see, Dick, how every time Contreras, he grabs the ball with that splitter or forkball grip. He does that. Now he's got it in his glove. If he wants to go to the fastball or slider, much easier than if you've got the fastball grip and you have to dig and go to the forkball. See, now he goes to the fastball. It's very easy. If you are a hitter and you see a guy digging in his glove, you know he's going forkball. That's why the pitcher set up with the forkball to begin with.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3, and Catalanato goes down for the second out here in the 6th inning. Strikeout number 7 for Contreras. So what a performance for Contreras, who had his first win on Monday since late June of last season, pitching 8 scoreless innings. And here in the bottom of the 6th, going 1 over the minimum now with Craig Counsell coming to the plate. 0 for 2 in the game. Check swing, strike 1.
Well, and talking about Contreras, remember he was 0-5 before they sent him back down to the minor leagues. And, you know, the reason they sent him back down is he needed to work on some things. They gave him the option to go to the bullpen and try and work out of the bullpen. The reality was, he coming off his injury last year, he probably wasn't physically ready to start the season at the big league level. They rushed him. They thought he could do it. He struggled, didn't have his rhythm, didn't have his good forkball. He asked to go down, worked on things, had some good outings in the latter part of the minor league stint, and just has been dominant in his brief tenure back up here.
And he's been a great producer for the White Sox over the years. The 0-2 pitch hit in the air to center field, and Brian Anderson will make the play to retire the side. 1 error, and that's been it. 1 left for the Brewers. We go to the 7th.
like it a lot better when you get the sun, shade, sun. I like that. It's my favorite. 6 for Gamble.
Coffee.
Okay.
Coffee.
Gotcha.
And Cattle and Auto.
All right, thank you.
Baseball presented by Sears. Let the Sears Blue Crew find the top appliance brand most perfect for you. And the White Sox with a 7-0 lead have out-hit the Brewers 7-1. And Jermaine Dye, Paul Konerko, Ramon Castro, the 3 scheduled hitters to face Todd Coffey. 1-0 to Dye, who has walked twice. And 0 for 1 officially on the day. Foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coffey, who came in and retired the White Sox in order last inning after Chris Smith worked 3 1/3 innings, giving up only 1 run. And that a home run as Dye waves and misses 1 and 2. But it was Manny Parra who couldn't get it going today, working an inning and 2/3, giving up 6 runs on 6 hits, and 6 of those runs coming in the second inning, including 3 walks. 2 and 2 now to Dye.
Well, that'll be an interesting topic with this Brewer organization, what to do with Manny Parra. I mean, how many more opportunities do you give? You know, are there alternatives within the organization? Do you have to go outside the organization?
Ground ball, foul. You talked about the White Sox having decision time, buyers or sellers. Well, you know, the Brewers, if they're contending, would like to perhaps see another starting pitcher join them, and they have hitters. And so Doug Melvin, the general manager, I'm sure, as we get close, thinking of that.
Well, and that's been one of the strengths of this Brewer ball club, the ability to run out 5 consistent starters. But, you know, Manny Parra has been inconsistent, especially as of late.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and Dye protesting that with Andy Fletcher. And there is 1 away. Well, baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head one spectacular night, the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you every thrilling moment. The 2009 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 14th, live from St. Louis at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. And the balloting goes on. And with 1 out, here is Paul Konerko. Ryan Braun, who is second behind Raul Ibanez of the Phillies for the outfield voting. Carlos Beltran of the Mets was 3rd, and Alfonso Soriano of the Cubs 4th, all over $1 million.
Well, you see the big man there, Prince Fielder. I mean, it just shows you how stacked things are. He's 3rd behind Albert Pujols and Ryan Howard, and Prince Fielder is having an all-star year.
So you got some positions that are really tough. These are the leaders right now. Pujols, Utley, Rollins. Rollins just moving in to that shortstop spot. David Wright of the Mets. And Ryan Braun now behind Ibanez in left field. And a call strike 2-1 to Konerko, who's 2 for 3. 2 RBIs and a run scored. And there you see updating. Braun second in the voting. Fielder third. Weeks has been hurt. And Konerko hits it in the air to Cameron in center field. 2 gone in the 7th. Let's take a look at the American League All-Star voting leaders. And Jeter took over at shortstop last week. And Jason Bay now the leader amongst outfielders.
Yeah, Teixeira over at first base, just a few votes ahead of Red Sox first baseman Kevin Youkilis. But look at those names. I mean, God, I can't wait to see those guys. Be a great ball game.
2 down, and here's Ramon Castro, 2 for 3 with a single and a home run. His first home run of the year, and the count 0-1. 2 down here in the 7th inning. And the White Sox with a comfortable 7-0 lead, 1-1. Fouled at the plate, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Castro with 2 down in the 7th inning. Coffey's slider is away, 2-2. Castro with a single and a home run, and the White Sox getting good production from the bottom hitters in their batting order. Still 2-2. Here's the home run by Castro leading off the 5th.
He threw it and he deposited it. And just as soon as he swung it, it seemed like that ball landed in the stands. He's excited. That's what I got for you. But, you talk about his production. Ramon Castro is hitting in the 5th spot for this White Sox ball club today.
And called strike 3. So Coffey strikes out 2 of the 3 batters here in the 7th. And Braun and Fielder both coming up from the Brewers, who trail by 7. Made with natural sugar for a limited time only. by the new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Taste the unfried side of KFC. And by Hyundai Assurance, a little certainty in uncertain times. And J.J. Hardy leading off against Jose Contreras in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Brewers, followed by Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. Call strike 1-1 to Hardy. 0 for 2. Has struck out and flied out. New right fielder for the White Sox is Dwayne Wise, who went in to replace Jermaine Dye, as the count goes to 2-1 to Hardy.
Well, Contreras still changing arm angles, changing the velocity.
2-1 foul off, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Dwayne Wise, the new right fielder. And Trevor Hoffman is warming up in the Brewers bullpen, and we talked to Ken Baca before. He knows that Hoffman has to get some work in, and this is a 7-0 game, and maybe it will be today. Seems to be the possibility here as the count goes full to Hardy.
Well, you've got to keep him fresh, and they've done that by resting him, but you also have to keep him sharp.
Hasn't pitched since last Saturday, and there's a ground ball. Ramirez turns around and throws out Hardy for out number 1. Superb play by Alexei Ramirez.
Well, a great play by Ramirez, not only getting to the ball, but most impressive was his ability to stay on his feet. See him grab it, you look like he's going to slide, but able to stay on his feet, close his shoulder, make a good hard throw.
Well, there's Juan Nieves, who's the bullpen coach for the White Sox, and this is a big return. He played in the last game, played at County Stadium in Milwaukee before this park was built, and he played with the Brewers from 1986 through 88 and threw the only no-hitter by a Brewer pitcher as Ryan Braun flies out to Dwayne Wise in right field, and that'll be the second out. So there you see the first end, as it turned out, the only no-hitter by a Brewer pitcher, Juan Nieves, on April 15th back in 87, as he no-hit the Orioles. Familiar score, huh, in that one?
Yeah. There he is.
7-0. So welcome back, Juan Nieves. So 2 out. Here's Prince Fielder, who called out looking his last time up, 0 for 2. Give you an idea how Contreras has controlled the Brewers. This is Fielder's 3rd at bat. We're in the 7th inning. He's faced just one man over the limit, and the fastball fouled back 1-1.
Well, as we talked about, it's not as if some of the guys have lined out or hit some balls that outfielders had to run down. And there really have not been a lot of good swings, and let alone not very good contact today against Contreras.
Well, the infielders all playing back against Prince Fielder. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the corner, 1-2, and a second look given to Andy Fletcher by Prince. So Contreras now at 14 2/3 since coming back from the minors, still has not given up a run. He's had only 2 base runners against him in this game, as Fielder flips his bat, takes the big cut, throws his helmet. A 1-2-3 inning, and strikeout number 7. Make it 8. trailing the White Sox 7-0. And here's Trevor Hoffman, who obviously wants to come in and save opportunities, but has not pitched, Eric, since last Saturday. And the career leader in saves in the big leagues on here.
Absolutely awesome start to this season. I mean, 15 strikeouts, only 1 walk. And he's not doing it with 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. He's doing it with the great changeup and an 86, 87-mile-an-hour fastball at best.
15 saves and 15 opportunities amongst the league leaders, as Jason Nix looked like he cracked his bat as he fouls it down the third base line.
He broke his bat on an 84-mile-an-hour fastball. You know, I was talking to one of the Brewer players about Trevor, you know, and how is he so dominant? He said hitters are just intimidated. You know, they're going up there because what Trevor Hoffman can do to hitters that not many pitchers can do, he can make you look silly. He can embarrass you at the plate with that changeup, and that's the last thing a hitter wants to do, is be embarrassed or look foolish at the plate.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and a line drive, base hit, could be extra bases into the corner. And Jason Nix, on his way to second, will move in with a stand-up double, his second two-bagger of the game. So he's 2 for 4 today. The rookie, in only his 19th start of the year, a leadoff double.
Well, this pitch just up in the zone, and Nix keeps his head on it, stays back, and drives it. With a guy like Trevor Hoffman, you've got to wait for the ball to get on you. He's not going to beat you with a fastball, and you just go up there, you sit on a changeup.
Here's Brian Anderson, 0 for 2 with a walk, has scored a run today, and a called strike on the inside corner. So here's Anderson, who has struck out twice previously, facing Hoffman. Amazing that the 41-year-old Trevor Hoffman facing the White Sox for only the second time in his career. Of course, the National League has been his home, and Anderson totally fooled there in his 0-2.
And that's a changeup we're talking about right there. 71-mile-an-hour changeup. See some of the Brewers that were relievers and scoreless to start a season. Old Earl Stephenson, Ken Sanders, and Rick Waits.
And another changeup. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Anderson goes down for out number 1. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates Melky Cabrera, who the fans have voted May's MLB Clutch Performer of the Month, presented by Pepsi. 321, 11 RBIs, a homer, and a couple of game-winning hits. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. Gordon Beckham on the first pitch, lifts it high in the air, deep to center field. Cameron is back, and he makes the catch right at the wall. Great catch by Cameron, and going back to second is Nix. And they are shaken up a bit out there.
Well, even a 7-0 ball game, this speaks volumes of what your teammates will do for you if they respect you. Mike Cameron running, getting a face full of wall right there in order to preserve Trevor Hoffman from giving up a run right there. See Cameron, in total disregard for his body, slams up against the wall, makes a great catch.
And shaken up, as you can see, 3-time Gold Glove winner. And in a 7-0 game, Cameron going back and making a big play. That's why arguably maybe the best center fielder going now. And there's a line drive backhanded by Hardy to end it. Leadoff double, and left at second is Nix. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And by Zantac. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. And speaking of Smirnoff Ice, it's time for the Smirnoff Ice game summary. And there you see the big second inning against Manny Parra. And how about Contreras, the star?
Oh, he's been absolutely unhittable today, as we've talked about. Not really any good swings for this Milwaukee Brewer ball club. Not any hard hit balls. You couple that with the 6-0 lead that his offense gave him after the second inning. He's been dominant.
And he'll be facing Mike Cameron to start things in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jody Garrett, swinging a bat in the on-deck circle, would pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. So Cameron leading off, and of course he made that great play crashing against the wall against Beckham in the top of this inning, and swinging at the first pitch off the end of the bat. And Nix throws out Cameron for out number 1. And now it's time for the Just for Men hair color hold leaders. Damaso Marte right now would be the leader in White Sox history.
Matty Thornton, Bobby Howard, Scott Radinsky, the old lefty, also a member of the band.
And just as these relievers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. Here is Garrett pinch hitting, and he takes ball 1. Jody Garrett acquired from the Padres for Tony Gwynn Jr. late in May. Pitch down low, 2-0. Hitting .207 overall with 4 homers and 14 runs batted in. Here's Contreras. What a dominant game for him, but falling behind, 3-0 for the first time today.
Well, he's been great. He's had great control, been able to throw a vast array of pitches.
And it's ball 4, so Garrett draws the walk. That is the first walk given up by Jose Contreras in the 7-0 game. And here's Corey Hart, who is the only Brewer to reach before Garrett's walk.
Well, he had that base hit. Beckham made a nice play, but unable to come up cleanly with the ball to make a throw. And got on. Beckham threw it over Canerco's head at first.
0-1 the count to Hart. Corey Hart, by the way, was named an All-Star last year after the internet fan voting. So he was a member of the All-Star team. And there's a broken bat line drive. Nix trying to double up. Garrett can't. But Hart is retired for the first time today for out number 2 here in the 8th inning. So with 2 down and Garrett the base runner, here's Jason Kendall.
Well, you know, it'll be amazing if he can retire Kendall. He'll have the same line as he did the other day. 1 hit, 1 walk, 8 innings pitched.
And the only hit was a first inning double by Clete Thomas, the young, impressive Tiger. And there's a shot up the middle, knocked down by Alexei Ramirez. And Kendall will be on at first with an infield base hit. Garrett goes to second. So for the first time today, the Brewers have 2 men on base, and that is going to be only the second hit. So there are 2 on, and Matt Thornton is warming up in the White Sox bullpen. Catalanotto coming up for the second time, struck out in the 6th, his first time at the plate. Catalanotto went on to play second base when Counsell moved over to third. 7-0 the White Sox lead on the strength of 6 runs back in the second, and the home run by Ramon Castro in the 5th. And the first pitch, ball 1 to Catalanotto, and it looks like Contreras is losing something here in this 8th inning.
Well, the first thing to go, obviously, when you get tired is location, but still, the balls that have been hit have not been hard hit balls. We still haven't seen a base hit as far as a ball going to the outfield, the line drive, or anything like that. They've been ground balls, pop-ups, strikeouts.
So Thornton is up in the bullpen for the White Sox with 2 out, 2 on for the Brewers, and 1-1 the count. Catalanotto taking ball 2, 2-1. So the White Sox badly needing some run production, and they've got it from the likes of the rookies Beckham and Nix today, as well as some of the standbys like Podsednik and Konerko. 3-1 now to Catalanotto, and a great pitched effort. This is a team, the White Sox, who have dropped 9 of their last 13. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 out, 2 on, and ball 4. So that's the second walk here in the 8th inning after Contreras did not walk anyone coming into this inning, and the bases are loaded with 2 out and Craig Counsell coming to the plate. And right now 100 pitches have been thrown by Contreras, and Ozzie Guillen going to the mound. And if this game were played in Chicago, there'd be a huge ovation. And as it is, you're going to get a smattering at least of that from the White Sox fans.
How about that conversation? Ozzie just going out there. Contreras said, get back in the dugout. We'll catch you later. And you know what the thing about that, Ozzie, you know, I commend him for that, because he's showing his man respect. Contreras has earned the right to go after this hitter. Again, Ozzie Guillen will treat his players as they play. They play, they go out, they produce. He will give them the respect that they deserve. Look at this. We got a car on the field, too. This is beautiful. Driving out in center field. They thought there was going to be a pitching change. Is that your car to the hotel, Dick? Huh?
Well, taking us back right after the game. I told him to wait outside, not to come into the ballpark, but I guess he got that instructions. Anyway, here is the in-game box score for the Brewers, brought to you by Hyundai. Introducing the new 306 horsepower real wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. And there you see Brewers not mounting much. Hart and Kendall have the only hits. But here is Craig Counsell with the bases loaded and 2 out. 7-0 the White Sox lead. And off the first pitch, Counsell fouls it straight back. Castro got a late start, but it's out of play. So Contreras in trouble really for the first time in the game, and Guillen went to the mound. You remember I said there'd be a huge round of applause? When he comes back to the dugout, they would have applauded that as well, Eric. Huh?
You're right.
Either way, he would have
win. It was a win-win.
That's right. Craig Counsell 0 for 3 on the day. No balls and a strike. Bases loaded for the Brewers here in the 8th inning. Foul out of play, and Contreras is ahead of the Brewers' third baseman. 2 strikes.
So we've seen 2 fastballs right now, and I'm guessing here comes the old forkball. And if you're hitting, good luck. Fastball. Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
There he goes with the forkball grip. Again, that's just so he doesn't have to re-grip it if he wants to throw that pitch to the hitter.
Here's the 1-2, and another fastball fouled out of play. So he's got Counsell guessing at the plate.
Well, Counsell's doing a good job. He's fighting off that fastball. I'm surprised that he doesn't go to the forkball right now. And even if he misses with it, it's a 2-2 count, and he can mess around with the fastball or show a different arm angle.
Well, Counsell is hitting .333 with runners in scoring position this year, 9 for 27. And here's the opportunity, at least to get the Brewers on the board. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and there's the forkball. Misses 2-2.
You watch the movement on that thing. It's almost, again, I've said it before, it's like playing wiffle ball in the backyard. Air gets a hold of the wiffle ball, just diving all over the place. That's what it appears, doing it with a baseball.
Time called, and plenty of White Sox fans in the crowd here in Milwaukee. White Sox coming in 6.5 games behind first place Detroit in the AL Central. 2-2 pitch, foul back on the screen again. And Council's hanging in there. Scott Linebrick is now throwing in the bullpen. 106 pitches thrown by Contreras. Bases loaded. 2 out, 2-2. The count to Craig Counsell, and he loops one, and it's going to be fielded by Konerko to end the inning. Brewers load the bases, don't score. 7-0. Go to the ninth. Villanueva is the new pitcher, and the 5th of the day for the Brewers, facing Scott Podsednik, the leadoff hitter for the White Sox, and takes ball 1. Villanueva making his 29th appearance. Pitched Thursday against Colorado, gave up 2 runs in 1 inning. But Villanueva has pitched very well as a setup man, and there is Contreras. And from the looks of things, his work is done for the day, and what great work it has been. 2 balls and no strikes. Podsednik hits a fly ball out to right center field. Cameron coming over and making the catch. Podsednik 1 for 5 on the day with an RBI. Let's listen to the sounds of the game. Andy Fletcher, our home plate umpire, with Ken Maka.
Here we go. Hey, Ramon, it's getting ready to get better. So make it a lot better. We get the sun, shade, sun. I like that. It's my favorite. 6 for Gamble.
Coffee.
Okay.
Coffee.
Gotcha.
And Catalamato.
All right. Thank you.
Very polite, Andy Fletcher.
Yeah, I sensing some sarcasm, too, when he was talking about his favorite part of the game with the shadow, sun, shadow. We talk about tough for the hitters, tough for the umpires to see the ball as well.
Contreras with another sparkling performance. his second since coming back from the minor leagues. Alexei Ramirez with the count, 1 ball and 1 strike, foul ball. Ramirez 0 for 3, has walked once and scored a run. Manny Parra started, worked an inning and 2/3, gave up 6 runs. And that was the story for the White Sox. Ground ball fielded by Counsell at third and makes the play for the second out. Smith gave up the home run to Castro, but only 1 run given up since the second inning. And here is the in-game box score for the White Sox, brought to you by Hyundai, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
Well, you look at those 4, 5, and 6 hitters, very productive today. And then at the bottom of the lineup, Beckham gets a big base hit. It's a 2-run double. So production throughout today for this White Sox club.
Here's Dwayne Wise up for the first time, and he swings and misses for a strike. Wise went in for Jermaine Dye in right field. Wise is hitting 150, only his 41st at bat of the year. Breaking pitch, 1-1. RBIs today for the White Sox. Konerko has knocked in 2. Gordon Beckham, the rookie third baseman, has 2 RBIs, 1 each by Podsednik, Castro, who had the home run, and Jason Nix. 1-2 now.
Yeah, again, remember this ball club has scored 7 runs. The White Sox. A.J. Przinsky, who's been swinging the bat extremely well, getting the day off. Jim Tomei, the DH, not involved today because there is no DH.
Out of play, still 1 ball and 2 strikes. And talk about the White Sox, who now, after this series, they're in the midst of 9 road interleague games. They'll go to Wrigley Field, of course, in the middle of the week in that great Cubs-White Sox rivalry, and then go to Cincinnati to face the Reds. And again, Jim Tomei handcuffed here. I mean, he has played first base in 4 interleague games, but not since 2007.
And they're playing good teams. You know, they've got the Cubs, although the record they're under 500, but you've got the Cubs. The Reds are playing well. Got the Dodgers after that, and then the Cubs again. So at the end of this month, this White Sox organization will absolutely know whether they should prepare to make a run for the postseason or not.
Wise strikes out, and that ends the 9th inning for the White Sox. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Contreras goes 8. Let the Sears Blue Crew find the top appliance brand most perfect for you. Seven to nothing, the White Sox, and they broke it open, as it's turned out, back in the second inning when they scored 6 of their 7 runs. And the new pitcher is Scott Linebrink, as Jose Contreras, 8 shutout innings, gave up 2 hits, struck out 8, and walked 2. Brilliant today for the 37-year-old Cuban. Linebrink's first pitch to J.J. Hardy is down low, ball 1. It'll be Hardy, Braun, and Fielder. Ball strike, 1-1. Linebrink making his 29th appearance of the year. And Hardy today 0 for 3. Has struck out, flied out, and bounced out. Bottom of the 9th inning, 7-0. Breaking pitch, and it's 2-1.
Well, if you're a hitter in this situation, obviously, you know, you're still playing this game to try to win. But if I'm up there right now, what I'm trying to do is digest information. Watch Linebrink, take some of his pitches, watch the breaks on the balls. Look at the movement, because maybe tomorrow I have to face him in a pressure situation.
Linebrink took his second loss in as many days on Tuesday against Detroit. And his ERA of 2.08. And there is the walk to Hardy, leading off the 9th. The Prostate Cancer Foundation raises funds for prostate cancer research by securing pledges for home runs hit during selected Major League Baseball games from now through June 21st. Fans can make pledges to the Home Run Challenge by calling 800-757-CURE or by logging into pcf/doc/org. 5 home runs in all the games today, and that is a $70,000 donation to the Prostate Cancer Foundation. Great going. Ryan Braun fouls off the pitch. Strike 1. He is 0 for 3 today. So a lot expected from Braun and Fielder, the big 1-2 punch, Eric, for the Brewers. But neither one has reached base today against Contreras. Now they're facing Scott Linebrink. Strike 2.
Well, and that happens over the course of the season. There are going to be a number of times you're going to run into a pitcher that, I don't care what kind of season you're having or how good you feel at the plate, he's just going to have your number. And that's what the Brewers ran into today in Jose Contreras.
0-2 the count to Ryan Braun. He's out of there on strikes. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And while we have a moment, we want to salute, congratulate a colleague of ours from NFL football, Troy Aikman, who graduates today in a degree in sociology from UCLA. The Hall of Fame inductee 3 years ago, 3-time Super Bowl champion, and a Super Bowl 27 MVP. Said he wanted to get the degree for his mom. And if you know Troy Aikman, he's going to do anything he sets out to do, and he did it. So congratulations to Troy Aikman, who's Joe Buck's partner on Fox's NFL broadcasts.
Man, that was the only thing I had on him, was that degree.
From the same school, as it turns
UCLA,
out.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're there at the same time.
2 balls and no strikes to Prince Fielder, who has struck out 2 of the 3 times he's been to the plate today. Came in with 15 home runs, tied for 7th in the National League, and 55 RBIs, tied for 2nd. Takes the fastball outside, and it's 3-0. Hardy, the runner at first base, 1 out. 7-0 in favor of the White Sox. Brewers have managed just a pair of singles. Hart to lead off the 3rd, and Kendall with 2 out in the 8th, and it's 3-1. Linebrink had some good years for the San Diego Padres. And a fastball outside, and Fielder walks. 2 walks by Linebrink, who pitched the second half of the 07 season for the Brewers. And now with runners at first and second, 1 out, Mike Cameron comes to the plate. Cameron today is 0 for 3, but made a sparkling catch in center field to rob Gordon Beckham back in the 8th inning. One and 0 to Cameron. I want to remind you, the All-Star game. There's nothing like the Major League All-Star game, and one in which all the players want to be in it. They want to get there, and when they're not and they think they should, it stays with them. From St. Louis on July the 14th. And it'll be interesting who gets voted in, and of course then the rest of the squad. The two managers, Charlie Manuel of the Phillies and Joe Madden of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, they get to choose, and then the players have some choices, and then the fan voting with the internet. A lot of possibilities and ways to make the ball club.
1 out, 2 on. Casey McGee is on the on-deck circle for the Brewers. That pitch is down low, and Linebrick behind 3-1. He's already walked 2 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. There's a strike. 93 miles an hour. Count is full with 1 out. White Sox have Matt Thornton up for the 2nd time in their bullpen. Here's the payoff pitch. Strike 3 on the fastball. Cameron goes down. So 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And now the Brewers are down to their last out. And Casey McGee will come up and for the Brewers. McGee, a rookie, hitting .300 in 27 games and 8 runs batted in. McGee is 6 for 12 with runners in scoring position. He's got 1 now. And there's a call strike. So the Brewers down by 7 runs in the White Sox, and it's been Jose Contreras. And a lot of help up and down the lineup in that 6th inning. At the plate. 1-1.
Well, I think in summary, you look at this game, one of the pitching questions has been answered for the White Sox. Jose Contreras looks like he's back. Then there has been a question posed for the Brewers. What do they do with Manny Parra?
And a ground ball up the middle and a base hit by McGee. And they're going to send Hardy in with the run that breaks the White Sox shutout today. 7-1 the score. And there's McGee, who we mentioned really effective with runners in scoring position, getting the RBI. And going to second as fielder, and it's a 7-1 game.
Well, Linebrick just trying to throw the ball over the plate here. This pitch, Castro set up on the outside. This goes right down the middle, and Gay just drives the ball back up the middle.
So 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, but the RBI single, and Thornton will get the call for the White Sox. We'll be right back. The White Sox, who leads the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings and making his 24th appearance of the year. 33 strikeouts, 9 walks.
Have been very effective. And situational guy, come and give an inning here and there. And really, Ozzie had seen enough, seeing that Linebrink didn't have it. Just want to get this game over with and get back to the hotel.
Corey Hart, 1 for 3, and he lifts a fly ball down the right field line. Wise coming on over, and he makes the catch to end the game in foul territory. Dwayne Wise ends the game, and the White Sox beat the Brewers by a score of 7-1. And we'll return to Milwaukee for more post-game coverage right after these messages from your local Fox station. The White Sox, 7-1.